Hi, welcome to Robyn's Roost. Today I am working with some black and white paper. So sometimes, you buy some black and white paper and you have a pattern that you want to do something with it in black and white. And then you have the other patterns left over and maybe you want them colored, but you don't want to sit and like fussy color. I don't know if that's a word, but like take a marker and actually color everything and you want to do it quick, right? So this year there's two different papers that I've been playing with. The Abigale Rose, which is, it's not black and white, but it's kind of browns and white or vanilla. And then the Perfectly Penciled. I kept wanting to call it penned. The Perfectly Penciled. Both of these work well to color, and I want to show you a quick way to color using blending brushes. And you don't do it really fussy, right? It's not like all in the lines. It's just kind of a splot of color with the brush and then you move on. So let me flip the camera. Oh, here, just a minute. I will show you the first card I made. Now this one uses the Perfectly Penciled, which is the black and white, and then I've colored it with, oh, let me grab, my ink pads are still sitting here. So I've got the Tahitian Tide that I did the butterflies, and some Mango Melody for the big flowers. I did the greens in the garden green, and then I added a little bit of Cajun craze on some of the flowers for more of a fall look since it's fall right now. And I think I'm going to do this next card that we're going to do together in a little bit more fall, reds and stuff. So let's flip the camera and let's see what we come up with. Okay, so for this card we have our Abigale Rose, and here's my little sample pack so you can see a lot of these papers are just gorgeous used without coloring, but some of them just beg to have a little bit of color added to them, right? And they are kind of a crumb cake, and well, let's look, what does it say? They're black, crumb cake, early espresso, a little petal pink, smoky slate, and very vanilla are the colors that are in this paper. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of the Abigale Rose. And then this is an 1/8 inch bigger, so it's, oh gosh, 4 3/8 by 5 and I can't do that in my head. It's an 1/8 bigger each way than that one. And then I have a crumb cake card base, just a standard 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 card base. Now I've pulled out Old Olive for my greens and some crushed curry, Cajun craze, and pumpkin pie. I thought those were kind of nice fall colors. So I'm going to grab my blending brushes, and I'm really technical. I store my blending brushes just in a big baggie. I tried them in a jar at one point, but then the edges were hitting the jar, and it was kind of like bending my brushes, and I'm making spots in them, and I didn't like that. So let's start with the lightest color first. We'll do the crushed curry, and you're going to see that I'm not getting like super fussy about this. Let's just start in the middle. I'm just going to give the flowers a little hint of color, right? Not being particularly fussy about coloring everything. So then let's do some pumpkin pie. And it's amazing how when you do this, it doesn't, you don't really notice that it's not all exact and perfect. And if you start right in the middle, you'll get that deep blush of color in the middle. Like normally you would stamp off first, right? So you don't get it too dark. But you kind of want the center of the flower darker. And then let's make a few in the Cajun craze. And you'll notice I don't ever wash my blending brushes. I use them a lot, so I'd be washing them all the time, waiting for them to dry. So I just kind of keep them, I've got a yellow, an orange, a red, a blue, a green. I kind of keep like my colors separated. And I'm not sure, do I use the, maybe I should use the orange for the Cajun Craze. It's probably more orange. Cajun Craze is a little dark. I might want to just kind of stamp off a little bit with this. Okay, so there's our flowers. You see how fast that was? Doesn't take any time at all. And then I have seen some demonstrators do this where they'll actually fussy color in the leaves then, because the leaves are a little bit smaller. But I'm in, let's do it fast and get it done. So your leaves are smaller, so you might want to like dot off the strong part of the ink before you hit the leaves. Now, did we get all the leaves? I think pretty much. So I'm not sure how long that took us, maybe 3 minutes. And I was talking and, you know, yabbering while I was doing it. So it gives you that, just a little bit of color, right? And then you can just go ahead and layer this up. If I can find my adhesive. And that just creates a beautiful background. Now, I've got a piece of very vanilla, and again, the early espresso. This is 3/4 of an inch by, I forgot the measurements. I forget everything anymore. 2.5. So then this one is 2 3/4 by 1 inch. It's a 1/4 inch bigger all the way around. Now, if you wanted, you could make it just 1/8 of an inch bigger to kind of match up with the width of this base, but I didn't on this one. Now, I have a stamp from the Blessings of Home, which is what I used on the other card that I showed you. And I like this What a Beautiful Day. But it says What a Beautiful Day for Love. And I didn't really want this for a wedding card. I wanted it for a card that I would maybe send to someone, like when there's card requests. And I don't always know the person really well. So I didn't know if I wanted to tell them, you know, a beautiful day for love when I was sending this to someone in a nursing home or something. So then I would just choose one of my colors from that I had used on the background. And let's just try the Old Olive. I'll ink this up. And then when I pull this off, I'm going to take off the part that was for love, right? And I'm going to throw this away so it doesn't end up on our card. Hopefully I don't have ink on my fingers. That's the tricky part. Remember to take that tape off when you mask off part of a stamp, or you'll have a big mess. So there's our greeting. I also like to close my stamp pads right away, because that'll ruin a card really quick too. Okay, I really like that. It got a little light on the one side, but I actually kind of like that look. And then I had actually planned on using the Fresh Freesia ribbon, this open weave ribbon, but I'm not sure that that one is really going to go with these colors that I chose. that happens to be the one that's on sale this week. But let's go with the Pale Papaya. These are beautiful ribbons. I actually bought all of the in colors when they came out. I think these ones are last year's, if my memory serves me correctly. And I just want kind of a smaller bow. I usually tie my bows without cutting the ribbon, so that I only have to waste a little bit on the one end if I end up with the tails too long. It's what you call a frugal old lady. And I lost my ribbon scissors. Aha! Found them. When I get to stamping, everything is always just a mess. Let's see. I'm thinking up here. Okay, now I want to pop these up with some dimensionals. And then I think we'll tuck the ribbon kind of right in the corner here. And we'll take a glue dot. And when you get your glue dots, tie a piece of twine around it, and then it'll make it easy to keep track of your glue dots, where they're at and on the roll. I don't remember who told me that tip. It was another demonstrator a long time ago. And now I always do that. And then we need some bling. Now on my other card, I used the, let's see, the iridescent rhinestones. And I think they'll probably go well on this card as well. I did pull out some of these brass butterflies. Actually, let's use the brass butterflies on this one just to keep it different, right? These are so cute. Whoops. They're flying away from me already. So there's so many flowers on this one. Where do we put the butterflies? Maybe right in the middle? They're kind of tiny butterflies, aren't they, for these big flowers? Let's go hog wild and throw some of these iridescent rhinestones on here too. I don't usually do two different kinds of jewels, but I don't know, it just seems like this really needs a little sparkle here. So there is our card, and then for the inside of my first card, I actually took some of the flowers from the Blessings of Home and stamped, and then did this, "You are a real blessing to everyone around you." And I had to put a piece of white in that one because it was a darker base. But I think this one we're probably okay with stamping directly on the card base. And let's just find our greeting. Now with the darker card base, I'm not sure if I want to stamp those flowers right over the words. I think it might we might kind of lose the words in all that. So let's just stamp kind of here on the side. And then to keep it matching the look of the front, let's take some crushed curry and give that just a second to dry. It looks like the ink was a little wet on that one. Now you can either rub your blending brush around, or you can dab it too. And then let's just add a little bit more. Let's grab our pumpkin pie. I'm going to stamp off a little bit on that. We'll get our little flowers with some of that. And then as long as we have them all out here, let's get a little bit of green in there too. Now remember, the green we kind of stamped off with our blending brush, so it wasn't quite as strong. There. Now you still have plenty of room to write a little greeting here. And that's just one idea of a way to quickly use your black and white or cream and white paper, your designer series paper, when you want to add a little color to it quickly. Grab those blending brushes. Thank you for stopping by Robyn's Roost. If you'd like to purchase any of the supplies used on this card, go ahead and click on the link below and start shopping. I would really appreciate it if you purchased from my store. Have a great day.